What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about Facebook and the company's newly announced cryptocurrency project, Libra. This has been rumored and in the works for months that Facebook was working on some sort of payment technology. Well, now they have basically unveiled that, officially announced a decentralized stable coin with a bunch of other partners called Libra. They've had this thing called the Libra Foundation or Association that they're starting to govern this new cryptocurrency. They've announced Calibra, which is a wallet that they're building on top of this Libra technology. So there's a ton to unpack here. I think this is some of the biggest, out of everything that I cover on Hyperchange, technology accelerating disruption in our economy. I think this potentially could be the biggest news of 2019. And it may seem boring, it may seem complicated, but I think in this episode, I'm going to try and unpack what Facebook is doing, what they've announced today, why this has huge implications for Facebook, the company, and why this has even broader implications for the global financial system as a whole. But first, I want to take a step back and do a little bit of a thought exercise on what is money, because that's what we're talking about. Technology bringing new ways to transact value in the economy. Money is a way that you can store value you've created in the economy, spend that value when you want to, transfer that value to other people for goods and services. It's a fascinating technology and a staple and a backbone of how our modern economy works is, moving value through currency. So currency to me is this means of transacting value. And, whether you're in the old days used a gold coin or a gold ingot to exchange value. And then we had, about 100 years ago, the real rise of fiat currencies with the central bank and, the fractional reserve system and everything being based on paper currency. Since then, we've transitioned to basically paper currencies, but digitized onto bank accounts, basically adapting a legacy paper system onto the digital economy. And I think since then, I've always been fascinated with, isn't there going to be a digitally native currency? Isn't there going to be a money that was born on the internet, born out of code and software that is built for the internet economy we're living in that could transfer money anywhere in the world for a very small amount of fees, regardless of, political geographies? I don't know. I just think so that's at a high level why I've always been extremely fascinated with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with stablecoins, with Maker, with DAI, because I think these are the cusp of new technologies, of new ways to transfer value in our economy that are faster, more secure, less monopolized by old powers. And so I think there's so much excitement going on with the potential of digitizing the payment ecosystem of the world. And that is a sort of a long-winded explanation about what Facebook is doing and why I think this is so big, because Facebook is essentially they've announced this cryptocurrency project, and in doing so, they are validating, I think, the use case of Bitcoin, of MakerDAO, of Ethereum. This has elements of all these projects in it, and it's validating the disruptive potential of cryptocurrencies and this idea that there is a better way to transact value in the economy than fiat currency. And so this is a huge idea, and Facebook, to tackle this, has been working for months and months and months. They hired a guy called David Marcus to lead their blockchain group, poached him from PayPal. He was also on the board of directors of Coinbase for a while. So he has been building essentially a blockchain team within Facebook that has been working on this project called Libra. So there's a bunch to unpack here. Let's start with the actual cryptocurrency that Facebook is announcing. It is called Libra. They have put out a huge white paper announcing Libra. It has this really cool tri logo sign. And essentially what Libra is it is a stable coin. The idea of a stable coin is something that is pegged to a basket of assets that are stable. And therefore, because it's pegged to this basket of stable assets, it's even more stable than all of them combined. And so Libra is going to be adopting several of the world's leading currencies and creating a currency basket to back its stablecoin of the US dollar, the pound, the yen, the euro, and a couple others to create a very stable backing for the Libra. And so every Libra will be backed by these currencies that are issued by central main governments in a bank account. So this is backed, much like the US dollar back in the day was backed by gold in a bank account, the gold standard. We've since gone off that. The Libra is actually a move back towards the gold standard, but instead of gold in an account backing up the currency, it's US dollars printed from the central bank, euros printed from the European Central Bank that are backing up the value of Facebook's currency. So essentially the Libra is a digital payment layer sitting on top of every major fiat currency. And what's so interesting is they're issuing this as a decentralized sort of project. So there's something called the Libra Association, which is going to be governing this token, which is a non-profit organization that Facebook is going to be a part of, but they they brought in a bunch of other partners to help them build. So Facebook, once again, it's kind of confusing because they launched this thing called Libra, which is a cryptocurrency, this new foundation that they're trying to launch as an independent non-profit. So that's the first part of it, is they're launching this independent Libra Association to put out this Libra cryptocurrency, which is going to have a verifiable blockchain. Is going to have no one that really controls it. It's a consortium of all these different companies. And there's a really good article about TechCrunch that I'm going to put a link to in the description that goes through all of this. But they have this beautiful graphic of all the companies involved in Libra backing it already. Facebook wants to launch with about 100 partners when this launches officially next year. They've already got commitment from some of the most impressive VC firms in the world, like Andreessen Horowitz, Union Square Ventures, Thrive Capital. They've got the two biggest credit card companies in the world, Visa and MasterCard on board. They got Uber on board, Lyft, Stripe, eBay, Spotify. There's PayPal, Coinbase. There's a huge amount of clout in the companies that have already signed up to support Facebook's Libra Association and I guess accelerate the adoption of this cryptocurrency. A little side note that I thought was interesting is the Libra blockchain is managed by these partners and these nodes, and you'll actually have to pay a little bit of gas for each transaction on the Libra blockchain, very similar to how you have to pay a very small transaction fee when you use the Ethereum blockchain. So that's the part of the Ethereum blockchain they've taken. I think where this is all going is they want to make Libra essentially a currency that is used by all of these digital apps and services that we use. I mean, if you think about what Uber's doing with rides and eats and Spotify's doing with music and what you're doing on Facebook and shopping with Instagram and WhatsApp and Messenger, I mean, this is going to take up a serious chunk of the value that you're spending on a very frequent basis rapidly if they get these partners to sign on and actually be a part of the currency. So now that brings me to the next piece of this puzzle, which is, okay, so Facebook has launched this thing called Libra. They're running this whole association. What's Facebook get out of it? What's their play here? Facebook's play is Calibra. This is a wallet that will allow you, basically built for the Libra currency. So this is, much like you could think of like Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency and Coinbase as the wallet where you hold that cryptocurrency. Libra is Facebook's digital stablecoin and Calibra is the wallet, which is owned by Facebook that will allow you to hold, send, store that cryptocurrency. And so what's so fascinating is this, to me, is the play of how Facebook makes money. This is what Facebook's real angle is. They've launched Libra. They built it, they designed it. Sure, it's run by an independent association, but they came up with the idea. They know the roadmap. They know the technology better than anybody else, and they're setting it up to build a wallet for you to hold your Libra. So Calibra, this app will be available as a standalone app. It's coming in 2020. Will also be integrated in Messenger and WhatsApp. And so now you have Facebook essentially launching this incredibly powerful new decentralized stablecoin, and at the same time launching a tool, a wallet for you to use that stablecoin. And so this is what I think Facebook's play is. 2 billion plus users and climbing just on Facebook. Instagram's probably got another billion. WhatsApp's probably got another billion. No matter how you look at it, Facebook, if it was a standalone country, would be the world's largest country. And it would by far be the world's largest economy if you think about the GDP of all those citizens on its platform. So there's an incredible avenue for Facebook to make this, their wallet and their cryptocurrency, become one of the most widely adopted financial products in the world almost overnight when this launches, because of how big of a user base they have. And that is what is so scary here. And that is why I believe Facebook is in essence becoming a central bank competitor with this move. I mean, Zuckerberg is if anything, I mean, this guy just wants to take over the world. There's no limit to what Facebook wants to do and what they want to tackle. And this, to me, is by far their most ambitious project yet. I mean, Facebook is in the business of selling your attention, of monetizing your engagement, of getting you on their platforms and using them. I can't think of and it's almost like Zuckerberg saw that this was coming. He saw that there was going to be a consortium of tech companies come together, create a new type of stablecoin that collectively would have more power than a digital fiat currency, and that new stablecoin would be the backbone of a new, decentralized global digital internet economy. And so to get ahead of that, he essentially created that, because he said, well, if we create it and we're the first mover with the best wallet on that, then we are going to be able to get a significant amount of the value of this new ecosystem. And so that's what I think the play is here. Once they have the wallet Calibra, they say they're not going to monetize it. They say Libra's a nonprofit, but once you have the wallet Calibra, you can charge transaction fees to send money in between people. I don't think they'll do that, but let's say they start rolling out, okay, now all your money's in your Calibra wallet. What if you want to start investing? What if you want to start saving? What if you want to start, buying this stuff? There's the amount of transactions and potential is going to start like blossoming. It's basically unlimited of what you can do once you have essentially a bank account and this new digital currency. I think Facebook is going to get into basically the like what Robinhood does. You could do that all through the Calibra app. And I think that is scratching the surface of how Facebook becomes a financial services company. And that to me is a huge avenue for monetization. And whether they don't monetize it at all, but it's just another reason for you to get on the Facebook platform because that's where you send money to everybody in your life. I mean, they'll win that way. I know a lot of you are probably thinking about like, what about the privacy? What about the data? I mean, that's all up in the air. Even in this Calibra blog post, they say that that we will also take steps to protect your privacy. Aside from limited cases, Calibra will not share account information or financial data with Facebook or any third party without customer consent. They already have caveated it, saying aside from limited cases. So, that's where I see the potential backlash from this is people hate Facebook. They don't want to give Facebook more data. There's clearly a sentiment against Facebook, but at the same time, like, that sentiment has been there for a year or two, and the user numbers keep going up. People are so addicted to their phone and to technology and to Facebook that even though they know their data is being sold, even though they know they're compromising privacy, they don't care. People are choosing convenience over privacy every single step of the way. That is, to me, why Calibra is going to have so much success. You're just going to choose convenience. The average remittance costs 7% right now. If you could send it for free with Libra on the Calibra wallet that every single relative in the world already has, I mean, it's so convenient. How do you not use that? That's Facebook's play here. It's going to be so convenient to use, so easy, so much better than the status quo. And because it's free, or it'll appear to be free, even though eventually, I think that's Facebook's play here, is that it's this product is so good that it is just going to take market share, even if it does compromise your data and privacy. So anyway, this wraps up my review of Libra. Sorry that I didn't have the most cohesive thoughts laid out because the news just came out. I wanted to put out a video. I also really wanted to just open it up to your ideas and feedback. I mean, this is such a new technology, such a new push. It's so, like, I just have so many ideas. So I'd love to know what you think about Libra, about Calibra, about Facebook's push. Is this going to work? Is this all fluff? I think this is as much as they've announced, as big of an idea as this sounds, I think we're just scratching the surface of the potential of this initiative. And I think the real story here is not that Facebook's getting into the crypto business. It's not that they're launching a cryptocurrency. It's that we have technology companies coming together to create a consortium of a sort of organization that will create a currency that will rival the fiat currencies of central banks. Right now, sure, you're being backed by a basket of fiat currencies when you buy Libra, but that basket of assets that are backing Libra could be subject to change at any moment, depending on what the most stable assets are. Let's say it's a little bit of Bitcoin. Let's say it's a little bit of gold. Let's say it's a little bit of real estate. There's so many different ways that this technology could evolve to go much beyond just a stable coin sitting on top of fiat currencies. And I think it actually, in the long run, Libra could be the world's most widely used currency. This is kind of a crazy moonshot, but I think Facebook, already the largest country, you have every other tech company signing on. I mean, the user base potential of this is already much bigger than any single country. And I think this has the potential to become the new global world currency. When people talk about, I think crypto is going to win, but I don't know which crypto, it could be, maybe Bitcoin won't be the one. It'll be some other one. This is the first time where I was like, wow, Bitcoin. I don't think this competes with Bitcoin or Ethereum or MakerDAO directly because it's still kind of centralized and owned by big tech companies. But I think, there's only so much market share of the value stored and transacted in the world. We've got to maintain and transact that value in some system. Is it going to be Bitcoin? Is it going to be Libra? Is it going to be US dollars? Is it going to be digitized gold? You tell me. But today, I think in my head, the trajectory of where that value goes and where it's transacted went from a lot of it being in these Bitcoin sort of things to now I'm seeing a lot of the future value being transacted in the digital economy, I think will occur on Libra or something very, very similar. So anyway, this is my crazy episode about Facebook, new stablecoin, and their new project. I think in the long run, this is a brilliant move strategically by Facebook and Zuckerberg. They're going to have huge potential to essentially turn your Facebook account into a bank account with the Calibra wallet. The amount of monetization opportunities that opens as a financial services company is unbelievable. In the super long term, I think this could evolve into a data management system where you can get paid in Libra to sell certain amounts of data. This unlocks Facebook's entire thesis of, well, we're going going to put you in control of your data. That's their biggest problem to solve. That, and the bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. I think Facebook could be turning their biggest problem, which is this privacy, no one has control of their data thing, into an even bigger opportunity, which gives users Calibra a platform to take ownership of their data, sell it for this new, and get value from it in this new currency. And then all of a sudden, Facebook has built a tool for you to manage your own data. And I think they could make a ton of money on that as well. So maybe that's the long-term play. Anyway, so many ideas. This is Hyperchange. Huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, producers, fun in the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.